Hey guys, I'm Dr. Woodson Interiors. So I mentioned on my podcast, Triggs Table Talk, as well as my YouTube intro, that I was going to be open up a lot more, be a lot more personable to the people that follow me and are engaged with my career. And so what more personal to show you guys my home. For people that don't know, I see my twins every other weekend in Alabama. It's a little bit different in the summer times. And so we would stay in a hotel. We were always constantly moving. And so I wanted to have a place that they could call their own and have fun and felt like, that they were safe and protected versus always being in a hotel. So I finally made the decision. I copped an apartment in Birmingham, Alabama, and I hired my god sister, Jonay, who's a certified in being an interior designer, to decorate. So without further ado, welcome to the Triggs Birmingham home, or the Birmingham Project.
Hey y'all, my name is Jonay Woods. I am the owner and designer at Woodson Interiors, and I had the pleasure of working with Dr. Triggs and his family, and we're gonna just give you a look at the space. All right, so starting off right when you enter the space, we have our dining room. And so one thing I will note is that, as he mentioned, he is renting, and so we wanted to make some renter-friendly decisions here. And so with the dining space, kind of thinking about our mood, our vibe, we went the mid-century mod meets contemporary style. A couple of things that he really wanted in the space was artwork, mood lighting. So we're gonna kind of point out some of those areas definitely in the space. And he still wanted to feel pretty masculine. So although, he will have his kids here, he's here too. And so a lot of the design decisions were based off of his style, his vibe, and wanted to still feel kind of masculine. So one of the key things that we wanted for sure was a walnut table. And so we have that placed here. And then I just really paired that with some leather chairs, a little bit of a sideboard action, and really just an emphasis on the art. So what I love about these picture frame lights is they're not hardwired in. So again, with it being renter friendly, those aren't hardwired. We're able to just pop those up. And I think it just really adds a nice little emphasis on the art pieces here. So let's move on to the study. So one thing about our study in here, this originally was supposed to be a pantry. And so again, as we started chatting about, okay, what do you need? How do you really want to function this space? One of the things Wilson was like, we don't need this much space for food.
Right.
And so what better way than to just turn this into an extra spot that if he needs to get some work done, or a family's here, or even the kids, they did, do some homework and things, they have the space in here to come take a seat. I know right now we have kind of the lights low. I could turn them on. In here, as well as additional seating. Again, big focus on the artwork here. Also having the picture frame lighting. And then, just some cute pieces here. One thing that he really enjoys is music. And so we wanted to make sure that we have an opportunity for some music in here with our Marshall speaker. And then, like I said, the additional seats, which these also roll. And I love to point that out because, thinking about the kiddos, being able to move it around, using different spaces, and pull it out into the main space if need be. Good. All right, so moving on to the kitchen, not a ton to really highlight here. A lot was really about the styling. Again, because this is a rent option, I was not able to pick the finishes, so we really had to work within the blueprint that was here. So like the paint color was already selected, all the finishes here. So when we came in, this was really more about styling. And so some of the key pieces we have right here, which also an emphasis, these are at a bar height, mainly because Dr. Triggs is tall and a lot of his family members are also tall. So we wanted to make sure that this was gonna really work for them, but also kind of have that feel and vibe that he had shared from our mood board. One thing I will note is this right here. I don't drink coffee, but he does. And so this was a key piece that he absolutely needed to have. And so what did I do? I made it look really nice. And so just adding his special coffee beans to some canisters here, I think are just a really great styling option, but gives him the functionality that he needs as well. Okay, so moving on, let's go over here to the bar. So another key thing that Dr. Triggs definitely needed was his bars. And so again, I wanted to have an emphasis on some of the art. You'll probably notice a theme by now that we have a lot of female faces, which I think, thinking about our surgeon here, definitely works. And so one thing that I want to point out is that this actually is a bookshelf that I really wanted to style as a bar. And so just kind of a little tweak there gave us something that was a little more in length, just knowing kind of really with this space, putting some of his favorite spirits and whiskeys in here, some other bits, and there we have, there's your bar. And that takes us as a great transition point from our dining to your bar, kitchen area, to where everybody's gonna really be, where everyone's gonna hang out, which is our living room. Which, again, if we're pointing out what were some of the key things that Dr. Triggs wanted, was he likes to lounge. I mean, I'm sure you work hard, so being somewhere that you can really lounge. And so I'm gonna circle around here. This was a key piece that he asked for. So again, going back to our mood board, he said he wanted a white sofa. We talked about it. We made a decision that, okay, we're going to do it. I gave him some options, and we ended up going with this Casterly sectional right here, which is beautiful, has some curves. And I really wanted to bring in a lot of curved elements because of how linear the windows are. And so I think it just really softens it, but it works really well with this space. Another thing, we look at our rug here. Maybe I'm telling too much of your business, but he likes to lay. So that was another thing. When we did our kind of intro call, he was like, look, I like to lay on my carpet. Like if I'm chilling with the kids and they're on the couch here, I want to be laid out. So I really want...
Does it really surprise you? Because I used to lay on the house floor all the time when I was at med school.
This is very true. So that was a request. So that's why we did not do a coffee table here. We wanted to keep it where he could lay out, the kids could lay out. Instead, we brought in some of these poofs right here that are great for additional seating. They can be moved around over here, over there, wherever the kids want to take them. But that way, this is really the family zone. And so, although we have some art right here, we also have a Samsung frame TV. So again, something he really wanted. TV only in one space, but something that could function as art when they're not utilizing it. So if they're not having a movie night, you have this really great piece of art that can be changed out. So nice little plug to Samsung. Okay, so let's keep on moving to our second zone, which this is a pretty large space. And one of the things Woodson had mentioned was, how am I gonna lay this out? Like, how is this gonna work? And so this to me was the best solution. It gives him a secondary living option that can really be used how he mentioned it, for friends and family. So having the kids, over there, they could be watching TV, but being able to have your mom or family or friends sitting around this space, definitely more of a lounge, kind of more intimate area. And of course, we had to do some really beautiful art. That was a piece that, again, he mentioned, wanted to have this space that has art. And so just really kind of going off of the musical theme, did these custom for him, and I think it makes an impact. And that's what we like. Yeah. All right, so let's move into the guest bedroom. All right. Yeah. Okay, so this is our guest bedroom, and I mean, it's just what it is. It's for guests, primarily probably for like your mom, cousins, that type of thing. And so for this space, we wanted to kind of have somewhat of a boutique style. When we looked at our mood board, we actually looked at a couple boutique hotels. And so one of the things I love is kind of having the full sliding track curtains here. Also got a little homage to Birmingham with our Magic City and our Alabama Theater right over here, which is, we gotta make a play for where we're at. And then, yeah, again, another beautiful art piece, another female face. We've got our additional lighting, a beautiful, beautiful dresser by Article, one of my favorite brands. So we had to bring that in here. And then, of course, we have a beautiful mirror just for your guests. All right, so then the next space, Dr. Triggs, is our primary bedroom. All right, so now we are in the primary bedroom, and I mean, truly, the views, I think, are what make the space. But again, it needs to be cozy, and I think we accomplished that here. Now, I will point out a couple of additional requests that Dr. Triggs had. One was an in-room bar, and so it's not, something super major, but if he needs to just, have a little whiskey right before bed, a little nightcap, and that definitely works there. And then again, just some lamps, bed framed by some art here. Again, with it being renter friendly, we're using like command strips here. This is actually framed fabric, so just a nice little DIY that's been added in there. And then we wanted to bring in more of the greens here. Again, just thinking about those masculine touches within the vibe. And so you've seen them kind of sprinkled throughout the apartment, but in here we really went more within that color palette. And so a key piece that we had on our mood board was some type of additional seating that had this deep, olive green. And so I was so happy when I found these. I think it works really well. Adding the additional kind of low lighting here, little side table in case you want to have your nightcap as you're sitting here or anything else. And so, this is our primary space. And so this room I'm so excited about. It's very on brand with the mood and vibe of the space, but much more playful. So let's take a look. All right, so now we're in the twins room, which probably my favorite, just because, of course, I do know his kiddos love them. And so just their excitement when they originally got to see the space brought me a lot of joy. But let's talk about it. So one of the key things, again, you're probably noticing it's still within the color palette, but we did go a little brighter, not to your like primary color bright, but just a more refined color palette here, but still very playful, very energizing. We started off with this mirror, which again, just bringing in the curves that we saw with the sofa and with the chairs in the secondary living area. So we have those pieces here. Again, just some floor pillows, so that way they can color, they can write, they can engage over here. We have some storage, which again, bringing in some pops of color that I'm not going to open it because they already have filled it up with so much stuff. But there are games and toys and everything in here. And then, of course, one of the things that Wilson definitely wanted was bunk beds. He did select this bed mainly because of the stairs and the bookcase that's on the side. And so also just giving opportunity that if they're having cousins here, having the full over full worked a lot better than doing like a smaller twin over twin. And so they are, a larger bed in here, but it works so great. They already kind of interchange of each time they're here, I'm going to sleep up here, I'm going to sleep up here and flip. And so again, the palette really meets both of them with them being, a young boy and a young girl, but playful, having their stuff here. Unlike the other bathrooms, they're glass showers. And so this one, we have the opportunity to add in a rod here as well as curtains. And so we did do these custom, but again, very playful within the color palette. And then just pairing that with a couple of additional pieces here, a lot of storage solutions, of course, for two young children that are down there. And this is their personal bathroom. All right, y'all. So thank you so much for taking a tour with us, checking out Dr. Triggs' space. If you want to kind of see the behind the scenes, I post so much content on my Instagram. You can follow me at Angelica Jonay. And if you're interested in working with me, you can contact me via my website, woodsoninteriors.com. Thanks.
Hey guys, thanks for checking this out. Remember to check out Jonay's IG page listed below, as well as her website if you're interested in her services. Also, remember, I am a plastic surgeon, so at Dr. Triggs Miami, remember your consultation is completely free. And also check out at WTriggsMD on IG, as well as my YouTube channel and podcast, Triggs Table Talk. So with all that being said, you guys can go.